This is Cheeky Podcast. Hey subscribers, Lewis here with another Cheeky Podcast. Today we're just going to be mainly talking about just a few things, mainly around, school and educated areas. And it sounds a little bit like, click on your podcast so I don't have to escape, so I can escape from school. Well, this could be worth your time. So, you go to school, and, some of you may enjoy it, some of you may not. I have my own opinions on it. But any subject you do at school, you can apply. Let's say, you want to have something to do with, the gaming industry. You want to be able to, maybe create games or help, have a few ideas that you may have, thought up while you were probably falling asleep in class. You're like, that's a pretty cool game. It's a pretty cool game. I could probably make one of those. Now, when am I going to be able to make one of those? Well, if you don't, because even I had this, stereotypical view that maths, whatever you want to call it, all about the coding that you have to do, and it's really boring. You have to start no, it's not like that at all. You could have English. Let's take English for example. Some people really dislike English. Some people love it. English can help with the storyline of a game. The dialogue that's within it. I mean, great games with I think pretty good storylines. What was a game that I was playing recently? You have Skyrim. I think that's got a pretty good storyline. I mean, there's its ups and downs, but it's all great storyline, and you have to have some great creative ideas. So English can really apply to that with storyline and dialogue within the game. Art as well. At school, quite a few people I know do enjoy art. And for obvious reasons, you've got your concept art of the game, the graphics as well, for the way things look. You can really take all the small textures and detail of a world when playing a video game, and you can, really make it stand out with amazing graphics. Another subject, design and technology. It's sort of related to art a little bit. You've got graphical designing, so when you're designing a product to make, that can really help with, creating characters and models within a game. Geography, you may not even think of it, but you have to have mapping and landscape throughout a game. You see, as I'm saying these things, you could probably be thinking, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at that subject. I can apply that to, if I ever want to be in the gaming industry. If I get good at it, I know the subjects, areas that I need to be good at to be able to, have some sort of place in the gaming industry. It's quite easy. You don't just go to school so that you're just out the house for a few hours. You are learning all these skills for life. But anyway, carry on with the gaming, because that's much more fun than having to talk about that. You do IT at school. That's obvious reason. IT is in pretty much every job that you go to, and obviously in the gaming industry, that's the same. Science though, you could probably have science for coding as well. The graphic side of it, and as well explosions, earthquakes, and all the other stuff. I don't know what you could probably relate PE to. No. What could you relate PE to? I don't know. I mean, there's probably a few games out there like Assassin's Creed. I don't know. I don't really relate PE, but basically what I'm trying to get across as is almost any subject at school you can relate to doing something to do with gaming, and I think that's pretty good. That we live nowadays where pretty much these games can be created. And obviously you are going to be taught these skills when you first go off to try and make a game. It's just great. And as well as that, creating games, there is some, there's good money in the gaming industry. They obviously don't have people knocking at their door, every day. Like, you have big companies like Bethesda. I can't really think of it. These are probably publishing sites, so just please excuse my gaming French here. But let me just name some things like THQ. I think something to do with Saints Row might be publishing. You've got Treyarch, Infinity Ward. I think these are also publishers. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible. But those sort of style editors, they don't have people knocking on their door every day asking if they can join. You know, there are places, and they're always looking for new people because they just, you know, bring in new ideas which can just really change a game franchise over. And I've probably ranted about it before, or ranted, whatever you want to call it. But you know, I am finding that, you know, in the Call of Duty series, it is very much okay. So what we're gonna do? Yeah, we're gonna have we're gonna have Modern Warfare. Then we're gonna have World at War, which was, you know, I liked World at War. That was good. But then you go back to then you have Black Ops. Okay, cool, new game. Modern Warfare 2. Okay, I can see this. You know, it's the one. Black Ops 2. Okay, I'm starting to, you know, really sort of feel a change here now. In fact, no. Hang about. No, yeah. So after you had Modern Warfare, then Call of Duty World of War. That was it. And then you had Modern Warfare. No, you didn't. No, and then you had Black Ops. Or you had Modern Warfare 2. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's very much a case of Black Ops and Modern Warfare, Black Ops and Modern Warfare. And they really need to start making a game in between. And you are probably going to find there's going to be a Modern Warfare 4. And it literally is just copy paste with maybe a few different storyline, a few new guns, and some more Russians or Germans that they're going to put in halfway through. But you have to admit, the Germans have had a lot of stick throughout the Call of Duty games, and you know, it's only now that I think it's an American company, you know, they're starting to bring the Russians into it now as them being the bad guys, which I think, you know, the whole thing's just crazy, but it's great crazy. I think in the Call of Duty games they could, I'm kind of going on to Call of Duty now. It's my podcast, do I like? I'd probably do a separate one, to be honest, actually. Sorry guys, I was thinking out loud here. But anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that in another podcast, because I'd love to talk about it on the Call of Duty games. Oh yeah, that's it, let's get back to the school thing as well. But you know, people making Flash games at home, I mean, well, there was a project that went on before, there was a project that went on that, you know, which I tried to get involved in with a few of my friends and that, to make a Flash game. Difficult. We had a good programmer, you know, one of our mates, but you know, I think there was some effort that could have been put into the sort of project, you know, so it sort of failed. But you know, you can, if you think that you've got the effort and that you think you can probably do it, then go ahead, you know, buy Macromedia, Flash, Adobe, whatever, but I mean, and just go and make yourself a game, you know. You probably may have to Google it, but if you think that you're that dedicated to it, make yourself a game. You know, you have indie games like Fez. Oh my gosh, it was only one of my dad's friends who introduced me to it. Did I realise that the Fez, talking about the hat, completely loved it. I mean, it was a 2D game when I played it, and I was like, you know, it's a bit of a 2D platformer. But the minute you got the Fez, and it was this open 3D world, it was amazing. And the fact that it was an indie game, and it had, you know, on your Blackberries, you had the bar scanner thing. It had tons of those throughout the game that were just hidden. Sort of each message on the wall, you know, like everything on the wall was a message of somehow, and you just had, apparently, there was this big sort of decoding of the game where, you know, you had hundreds of people working on it, and they managed to do it. It's just, you know, it's great, and that's just an indie game made by one person. You know, and they do make just an absolute ton of money off it, and, you know, it's great. You put the effort in, you get the rewards out of it, and that, I think, is just, you know, it's great. If you're really passionate about something, you know, go for it, because there was assembly at school a few weeks back, just before the holidays, and it was, let's take money out of the equation. You know, what are we actually left with? And, you know, like, the sort of point that I'm trying to be put across was, if money were no object, what would you want to be doing for the rest of your life? And, you know, the answer is, it's probably what you love doing best. And people are like, oh yeah, well, you know, I want to be a musician, or I want to be a dancer, you know, and they're like, yeah, well, how am I going to make any money off of that? You know, it's just me on my own. And the best way to look at it is, and this is what was also said, you know, if you get good at what you love doing, people will pay you for being good at it. And it's not a case of, oh, you're doing a really good job, I will give you money. No, it's not like that. It's a case of, oh, so you're a dancer. Hey, I see you're a really good dancer. Would you like to come join a show? Or that sort of thing. People will hear about you. You will start to get mentioned if you become good at it. You start to become known. And then I to become known, to be good at it. So, you become known. People will start to, get interested in and pay you. And that is where, it sort of lies. So even if it's, people are like, oh yeah, well, how do I sort of like, afford the money before that? Well, get yourself, a job, part-time job. And any sort of spare moments that you have, go practice what you love doing. Because you always find time, we say, oh, but I'm so busy, but, you make time for things that you, like, really, really want to do. But, it's all personal preference. But getting back onto the game thing then. So we had Fez, good game. What else we got? Board games, that was it. I probably should have put this in the technology one, but hey ho. Just thought of it on the spot here, because I've got a game of Cluedo. What if you had modern 21st century Monopoly has absolutely changed their game. I mean, before it started out as, an old board game, and now it's just turned into this modern 21st century game, which, because I'm just looking around, there's just these Monopoly ones where you have a credit card, and it gets put onto a system, and the money, gets swapped over, and it's like, it was, the original game was fine the way it was, and, I guess they are trying to make it better by having these sort of real feels with credit cards and that. I never did get around to playing the game in life, actually. These sort of real things. But eventually I can just see it being, if you've ever played Rage, when you see that sort of I've just got this thing for holographic sort of stuff. The holographic where it like shoots up R2-D2 style from the ground, and it just shows sort of like the pixelated person in sort of like a 3D projection, and that to me really is just so cool. I could just see that in Monopoly, the Monopoly guy just coming out and giving you a slap round the face, because you should have bought Kent Road. Is Kent Road even a thing? I'm going to Google it now. Kent Road. Oh, Kent Road. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Tell you what, if you're ever on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or any game show, and there's a chance to phone a friend, call me. I am almost all the time by a computer, and I'm guaranteed to pick up. You just ask me to Google the question, and I'll be there before you could say. Before you can say, Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter, so Betty bought a better bit of butter. That is how. Bleh, just awesomeness. I might just do that in slow motion. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter, so Betty bought a better bit of butter. So that's if you want to learn that. Now as well, the Cup Song video. When I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna try and do it on my mic now. This is gonna be. I've only got glasses. This is not. Well. So, I'm just gonna like... Is that lemonade? Yep, that was lemonade. Alright, we're gonna try this. So... Alright, if you might not be able to... Alright, hang on. That there was just pure awesomeness if you didn't get to hear that. If you didn't, then I might do a separate video on that. Getting back to the school bit though. But, I might just talk about school as a topic. I'm in, year 10 now. Got this year and next year. This time next year, I'm going to be revising for, GCSEs. So, that's just boring for you to listen to. What do we have? Lewis's thing to think about for the day. Right, you go to McDonald's or Burger King, or Frankie and Benny's or Nando's, Relachi, or Chiquitos, you know, or Miguel's, see? Anywhere like that, you know. Next time you look at the rubbish bin, don't just think it's a man throwing away his rubbish. You got 3 little dots there. It could be a juggler throwing away his dream. Just one to think about there. This is, can I just say that I'm pretty proud of myself here. This has been a non-stop podcast right here. Usually I'll just pause so I can catch a breath and get a drink, or, you know, even just have a quick think before I say, because usually I'll just flumble things up. But, you know, this is pretty snazzy. I've been just going, wow, talking to myself for 20 minutes. You know, I had my sister come in the other day just looking at me, and it was like, right, it's not a conversation now. Back to the school bit though. So yeah, if you really want to be into gaming, because before I used to think, you know, do I really want to be creating games, or do I want to just be playing them? And then I made the decision, yeah, you know, I just like playing the end result, to be honest. And you know what? Here's a cool thing I can talk about now. I just thought about that. You know, if you're like, oh yeah, well, you know, I don't really want to be, you know, play, if I don't really want to be creating the games, I'd rather be playing them. Not that you guys talk like that, because you're my absolute babelicious subscribers, and I know that you've probably got a voice like Morgan Freeman. For the women out there, you've probably got a voice like a woman actor, a good lady singer. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. Yeah, as I was saying, you know, you can be paid to play, well, to test games. You know, I thought, you know, you could make a good, you know, small amount of money from testing games. So, you know, kind of a win-win situation, because, you know, whether it's a case of you get paid or not, you know, you get to play the latest games. You know, and you're getting paid, or, you know, you're just getting to do it for free. And you just get exclusive content. It's just great, basically. I definitely recommend that, you know, everyone, well, not you should, but you should absolutely just look into that, because it is going to absolutely just, it's going to take over soon. I can just see it happening. You know, you have all these games coming out, and it's 2013 as well. As I've said before, next-gen consoles means next-gen games to follow up. And what I always find that's a little bit weird about, you know, when you're having new consoles coming out, is that, you know, the vast majority of people are going to have, you know, the previous console. It's not going to be a case of, oh, hey, look, new consoles come out, let's all go buy that, you know. And what I've always had the big debate on is, obviously, if it's so, you're not boring me, subscribers, you're not boring me. It's 12:30 in the morning, if that's even the time. It's 12:30 in the morning, which is like it's half hour. That's the time. My clock is 00:28. So it's not 12:30. I lied. Okay. Oh fudge! I've lost my train of thought now. Oh, I'm talking about. Yeah, games. So, you know, you get to play. That was the consoles. Right, so anyway, just to quickly wrap up, because it's almost coming up to 20 minutes. No, don't worry, it's not a limit thing. I just like to be 20 minutes because I'm OCD like that. Yeah, as I was saying, you know, vast majority of people, but that's how they get their marketing out there. You know, they bring out an Xbox 4, let's call it. I'm really sorry, not a PS4, because that sounds more likely. You know, PS4. You know, you're gonna have people. You know, they're gonna bring out the latest games, because this is what they do. They wait till games like. Well, what they do, they team up with big games like Call of Duty and that, and they're like, hey, you know, don't make it for our current console, make it for the next one, because people love your game franchise so much. Oh, coming up to the 30-second thingy here. People love your franchise so much that, you know, you make your next Call of Duty game on our new console that's coming out. People will buy the new console just to play your game, and that's sort of how the marketing works. And we're going to be starting the 30-second summary here. It's just gibberish, so don't think it's professional. in about 10 seconds. So if you want to just prepare yourself, and I really hope you have actually enjoyed this podcast. It's been a little bit random in some places, but I'm just feeling random, man. Okay, so we're going to be doing the things here today. So the 30 things we've been talking about all the subjects at school and how you can really get yourself involved inside the gaming industry. We've also been talking about how you can play games for free, and not only that, you can probably get paid for them. We've also been talking about how next time you go to like Nando's, Electra, or some place like that, I don't think that it's just a man throwing away his rubbish, but it's actually a man, free could be a Joe throwing away dreams. Other things that we've talked about 21st century and holographic things like Rage. Another thing that we've talked about today is, in fact, we've only got a few more seconds left. We've got 3, a 2, a 1, a seconds left. And can I just say that it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you guys. I really do hope you have enjoyed. As I said before, it's a little bit random, but hey ho, I'm feeling random mandem. Anyway, stay dense, you'll get through upon. A few people will get that, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Danny! No, but in all seriousness, subscribers, just remember to always keep calm and carry on gaming.